This podcast is supported by K&K Beauty Bar.
Okay, welcome back to Cruiseman Podcast. Woo! Another episode. I'm your co-host Adeti Ladende, and my co-host.
It's your woman crush, Queen V.
And it's the one and only Kit Kat.
Oh, just one and only Kit Kat. Where's the
This
chocolate?
one.
Kiniko.
Sweet like chocolate Kit
Don't
Kat.
forget that.
Yes, welcome guys. And I'm still waiting for my own nickname. But yeah. So welcome back again, and we have our guest in the house. Woo! Chef Loso. Welcome.
Thank you.
This voice, they're giving us bedroom voice. Thank you. Please let us hear us.
Well, I'm really very soft-spoken person. I'm not really that aggressive or loud. This it's either like this or you get the raunchy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
We'll manage the bedroom voice.
He said he's not the aggressive guy.
No, he can be aggressive, but on a normal, he's a soft-spoken man.
very soft-spoken.
Okay, so I think this is the first time we're having a male on set. Isn't
Yes, it is.
it? Yes. So our first. Oh boy. Oh,
He's gonna
boy.
represent.
Yes, special.
History in the making.
Yes, special. That's nice. We're so happy to have you here, of course. We want more men on our table.
Yes, please.
We're not going to bite.
Don't bite. Unless you want us to.
No, we'll make you comfortable. Ask Chef Loso how he feels now. You know.
I'm trying to manage, but we'll see.
Okay. So we're so happy to have you here for sure. Last week we actually went into his kitchen and he gave us some delicious. Very, very Abi, what do you guys say, ladies?
I had the wow time of my life.
Did you go to kitchen? Abi, you went somewhere else?
No, we went to kitchen, but the way everything was, the food,
Like
the
the
way he
setup.
cooked, the setup, man, I was like, what? The way he welcomed us and everything,
Yeah.
and he made up things within
It's very, very
Hospitable, yeah.
hospitable. It's very, very, so it's not just about
And we didn't get sick. We're here.
yeah.
So you know
none
the
of
food
us
is
got
lit.
sick.
It's legit.
No food poisoning or anything. But yeah, he's very hospitable, and not only about the food was sweet, was delicious, but even is the way he welcomed us. We really, really enjoyed being in the same space as he was. So we want to say thank you. Of course, you guys are going to see clips of us in the kitchen with him and, breaking it down with the eggs. What else did we have?
cheesecake,
Cake, brownies,
The
Suya.
white chocolate brownies,
steak.
the salmon.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fish fan, right? So those out there who know me, they know I don't mess with
the
fish.
pasta
But
too was good.
it was good.
Yeah, the pasta, shrimp pasta, my fave. That's what I always
I think
order.
it was
I'm
shrimp
getting
and
hungry already.
So yes, so now we have him in the studio because we want to get to know him a little bit more. We spoke in the kitchen about what he does with his skill, and he gave us a little one-on-one background. But now we want to get to know this man behind the brand Chef Loso. So please let us know a little bit more about you on a personal note, meaning that how did you come about thinking that you want to get into being a chef? I'm sorry, what were you doing even before you started?
Well, before cooking, I was actually really into fashion. So I went to school for fashion. So I went to George Brown to trying to start a fashion career, but it's one of those industries that's hard to break into if you don't already have connections or people that could take you to the next level. Because you could go in so close, and if not a famous person or somebody big is putting out there, how's the brand gonna go across? So it was very challenging, and I always been around food. My grandmother sold meat in the market, so I've been into food since a young age. My cousins, my auntie, even my uncles, everybody in the household pretty much cooks. So it's something that it comes naturally. But I really started cooking very heavily like maybe 10 years ago when I did a few things for a friend, and friends were questioning like, who made these stuff? And I'm like, yo, I did. And they were like, nah. I'm like, so from that day on, it's like I closed my eyes and I stepped on the gas and we're here.
Wow. So it's in the DNA pretty much.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then was your mom, your grandma, were they all like the family, were they supportive of this?
Well, not to lie, in the beginning, my dad was kind of discouraging me. He's like, who's really gonna be eating these type of food? Like, we all want African food. And the thing is, I'm not one dimensional. I do pretty much everything from Caribbean to Italian to Mediterranean to African. I pretty much continental everything, and I travel around the world, so I pretty much have touched a lot of cultures and a lot of food. So I'm pretty good all around the board, which we normally don't get that as a chef. It's either they cooking or they baking. But me, I cook and bake. So with that twist and all the other stuff, anybody that knows me or I've tried my food can testify to that. Like, he's not just a regular chef. So on that note, that like there's something special about. So most of my management, they always joke, they're like, you're a generational talent because it doesn't come around these type. It would be like a type of like a Jordan or LeBron in the cooking industry because you don't come across this type of talent normally. So it's something that, we just trying to put it out there. We're trying to package it and make it look good. And, we're just trying. So
That's good because we definitely know when we have like, in life, we have like gender roles where, the women or the ladies are expected to go into nursing, into cooking,
The housewives.
the housewives,
Yeah.
and then the men are the ones who are meant to be the engineers, the doctors, and and that's the reason why I asked that. Did your family support you going into that line of career? So it's good to know that everybody supported, but of course your father definitely
nah,
had.
he didn't. He wasn't agreeing with that. He's like,
But what about now? As it come on,
now that he sees that, I'm doing pretty good. I get to travel the world, He sees articles, he sees the awards, It starts to come together. And he actually always call, can I get some of that? And I'd be like, aren't you the same guy that... But, it's family.
Yeah.
What can you do? You have to... In the beginning, they don't understand until they see that you're very passionate. And he sees how hard I work. So... He has nothing to do but just to support and to see the brand, and now he actually rock the brand clothing, the merchandise. He's proud, and he brags sometimes like, yo, my son could do this, my son could do this. But then I look at him and I say,
I remember.
But, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. In the beginning, they don't understand, but now that they see that he's actually making like good living, he gets to like travel, he gets to cook for all these famous people. It's just not something that he's just trying to do. He's very good at it. So now I get my pass. So now when I'm traveling with work, it's like, okay. But before it'd be like question like, what do you mean you're going? She will understand. It would be like, what do you mean you're going? So I have to come and show him the contrast, like, okay, now it makes sense. But before he thought that, you just get on a plane and you're just gonna go cook for some random people. But now I have to say, no, Dad. I actually have a, send them, $5,000 just for 2 days or 3 day contract. And you'd be like, what? So now it's like, they let you go and do your thing. So that's the cool part. Now they understand and they know that I'm very passionate and, what I'm doing is actually something positive. So now both sides, they let me go.
I have a comment to make because, from what you said, this brings us to parents, parents and entertainment. I've had a parent say something one time to his son and said, oh, your mom pierced your ear when you were 16 years, and every little mistake that child makes, he will pick on it and say, your mom pierced your ear when you were 16 years. But listen now, we see Davido, we see Burna Boy, we see Rema with the piercings, with the tattoo. Look at Chef Loso, even his hairstyle. So, I just want to use this medium to talk to parents, Entertainment is something that has, it's both if go through tradition, anything, entertainment is needed in this world. Everybody can be lawyers. Everybody can be doctors. The doctors need people to entertain them. The lawyers need people to entertain them after they had their work. So the job is shared. They need a good chef, a good restaurant to go and eat. Mm-hmm. And that's where people like Chef Loso come in. So parents should please, instead of criticizing your children and wanting that typical way, be this profession, be that profession, let's try and support their vision. Mm-hmm. Let's try to support it. Now, I'm glad that your father has come to terms with you being Chef Loso. I'm a mom. I have a son, a grown son. He raps, he sings. But you can't even imagine, from the very first day I saw you, the way you were moving, the way you were. I was so proud of you. I was like, that was the first time I met him, but I fell so much in love with him because of the way he was doing things. He was calm and calculated, very organized. Like, it's very hard to see a young man that is that organized. We know what we're saying. Typically, young men are not, but he was so organized. He was so good. Mm-hmm. So that's my comment to parents who discourage their children's craft. I feel like I could have been a musician or a dancer. Mm-hmm. But I had one of the parents who was saying, oh, you don't have a good voice. Mm. But, maybe even if I didn't have a good voice, but I knew that I had the energy to be a stage performer.
It could have pushed you towards something else.
Yeah.
So you get it?
No, it's very true. And just to piggyback off of that, for myself, when I was younger, I always wanted to be in entertainment. I said, I'm going to be a model and I'm going to be in Hollywood as an actress. So with my dad, it was, you are the daughter of a future king. You cannot be doing this. My daughter cannot be doing this. Da, 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 da. Then I had a cousin who lived in LA. And at the time, she was one of Usher's dancers. So Usher was performing at the Grammys. And my dad said, hey, everybody come and watch. Your cousin Nakia is going to be dancing. So me and my sister-in-law said, but Dad, when we say we're going to dance, you have a problem. And no, you cannot do this because you're my daughter. So I'm saying all that to say, a lot of times as kids or young adults coming up, we have a certain passion in something. And if you don't have the strong backbone to be able to stand up, to your parents or to your caregivers and be like, you know what, this is my passion, this is what I believe in, and go for it. Later on in life, you look back and you're like, damn, like, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. So when you have someone like Chef Loso here, who in the beginning, fathers are a big deal in the family home, especially for Ghanaian families. I know I think for Nigerians as well. So if your dad says no and you go against it, you have to basically make it to prove him wrong and to let him understand that I know you want the best for me, but I also know what's best for me. So I think people like Loso can also inspire others. So far as you're not going to rob banks, kill somebody, and you're doing something good, and you believe in it, go for it.
Exactly.
I believe at times God has given each and every one of us a gift, a talent, and some people have multiple gifts. Mm-hmm. And as parents, we need to be able to be watchful and watch out for our children's gifts, because at times they will display it while they're young.
Yes.
Some people, they say, oh, I have been singing since I was 5, or I've been dancing since I was 4. And you're like, really? But some of them truly they have, and if the parent is not mindful, observant of that, you would direct them somewhere else. Meanwhile, God has directed them where they were going to go, and they were already showcasing it. I know some people that they became doctors, engineers because of their parents. But after they accomplish that stage of, okay, now I'm working as an engineer, or I've just finished school, guess what? They said, this is for you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
Exactly.
They said, no, I want to do what I want to do. And then why parents, why would you let yourself or your children waste the money, waste the time, waste the energy just for what? To please you?
Or to
You know?
please your
Please
parents.
society.
Please
Society.
society. Because your friends.
Yes, the African parent wants you to say, my daughter is a doctor. My son is a lawyer. My this is an engineer. What is your own? Oh, costume designer. What is costume
Costume
designer?
designer.
You know, so and then the thing they forget is a lot of these professions that they look down on actually at a point can and will make money.
Yes.
You know, everything takes struggle. Even if you come out of medical school, doesn't mean you're going to get a job right away, and doesn't mean you're going to get that 6-figure job. No, it takes time. It's a build up, and that's how it is in every other aspect of this world in general. When it comes to making money, if you don't push and work at it, you're not going to make it.
No.
Like if he sat in his kitchen just cooking and not giving to anybody to eat, he wouldn't get to where he's getting to. But you have to break out, step outside and say, okay, this is what I know I can do. Okay, you come here, try it. That person tries it, goes and tells the next person, oh, yo, you know Loso, he made me something the other day. Then that person will now say, okay, oh, Loso, I heard you made food for this person. How come I remember I used to do that to him too. I won't even lie.
I even wanted to ask him too, like how and when did you have that courage or that step to, sometimes you can only cook for your family members. You don't want to cook for outsiders because you're not sure if they will like your food. So when did you have that courage to actually, or was it never a problem for you?
I think it all started with that just one friend when I made him all different type of meal, and I think two of the friends was questioning like he made and he baked this, and I'm like yeah, and they were questioning my friends like no he did. So from that day on, I just stepped on the gas and I just never looked back, and everything just took off from there. Because it's like,
thank God for that, because I do.
It was like the question, like, you really made all of this food, and I'm like, yeah, it was like
normal.
yeah. It was like six or seven different meals, so they were blown away. Like how? And this big man, I'm like, yeah. Then they're like, no. I'm like,
Can't let it. And it's
so from that day on, I just closed my eye and just stepped on the gas and just never looked back. Yeah.
Superb, and it's to encourage others.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. From that day on, all the things that happened, if I tell you, you wouldn't even believe it. I was able to get a scholarship to go to culinary school, free of charge. Everything was paid for. If I tell you the biggest payday, my cooking day, you'd be like, what? But everything comes together. And some of the people that I've been able to cook for, some of the people that I've been able to be in the room. And always, sometimes you don't get a picture with some of these celebs. It's okay or whatever. Just the conversation or just the encouragement alone, moves you forward. Like I was telling my cousin the other day, I'm like, I still can't believe I was sitting there with Wizkid, Naomi Campbell, all these different, just having conversations. And sometimes it's like, in society they want to see the picture, but I have the picture in my head.
Exactly.
Like I've been in the room with them.
inside
I know,
forever.
you know what I mean? So sometimes it's just all about your passion, your vision, and where you want to go. I think if you want to stay where you are, you stay where you are. But if you have different motives, different drives, and you want to be somewhere in life, I think you always push the envelope to the next level, which, will help you to get wherever you're going.
So, what would you give as a push or a motivator to those who they're skillful? People have tasted, like their family have tasted their food and they're pretty good. And they're just sitting in the house saying, oh, I can't do this. Or maybe it could be finances. It could be like they just feel they need more push. What would you say to them that are watching that feels like they have so much more to give, but they feel like maybe, how would the world accept them?
I think the best thing for them to do with food, with food is not like, oh, I made it at one time, it was good. It's a rapidly thing. You have to constantly do it. That's how you become better. If I told you how I got to really get to learn how to cook certain type of food, it wasn't just that one time. Okay, for example, when I wanted to make sure that I learned how to cook Caribbean food really good, I was lucky enough to work with chefs, grandmas at a young age, which were from origin from them areas. So they did it, and I'll ask questions. And sometimes they won't bring the groceries. I'll volunteer buy the grocery because I want to get better at it.
Yes.
So if I told you the amount of times I have to go buy chicken, I have to buy fish, I have to buy bags of rice, just to get a sense type of stuff the way it's supposed to be and authenticity. It's just all about you wanted it more and you just pushing the envelope. Yeah, it's good. You can cook for your family. Okay, now this week you're not cooking for your family. Cook for friends. Cook for friends. Like you have to want it and you have to want to push the envelope. If you want it bad, as I said, you want to do different things to try to make sure that you're getting to where you need to go. Because cooking for your family, okay, it's cool, but they might be biased. So cook for a friend's family. From then on, just cook for a bunch of strangers. You know what I mean? If you want to be good at something, sometimes you have to invest your money. If I told you the amount of money that I invested to get here today, you wouldn't even believe it. But sometimes you got to do what you need to do and able to get to where you have to be. So it's all about you just being.
So I can testify to that. One thing this is my second time of meeting him, and one thing I have observed from the first time and the second time is that Chef Loso is a very generous person. Yeah. You can just tell. Like there are certain things you don't need to you wait for too long to know. He's a very generous person. And another, I have a question, and my question will help other viewers outside, including me. I like to hear that every day. So Rome wasn't built in a day, and there's always ups and downs in life. You might see Chef Loso now, he's doing well, but Chef Loso, I know you had ups and downs. You had times you wanted to quit.
For sure. There was days that we didn't have no kitchen. We had to do stuff out of our houses. Like the team, if I tell you how we started, 10 years ago there was 4 of us. Now, 4 years ago we started with 4 chefs with the brand. Then it became just me. Then I had to train the kids that came after. And now they're part of the team. Now they have their own brands. It's like, it's been a long journey. Like the last 10 years hasn't been easy. But I make it look easy because I know that like at the end, everything will work itself out. And from what we projected and from what we're about to do, it's going to be even bigger in the next coming years. So it's just all about you just being hungry and you're just being patient. And everything so far is just good. Like, as I said, some of the rooms that I've been able to go because of what I do and some of the people that I'm able to touch and things that are like I get invited to do is like if I stopped cooking or if I didn't follow my passion. Well, I wouldn't even say cooking is not really even my passion. Fashion is my passion, but I just happen to be so good at cooking. It's true. Like she would tell you growing up, like I wanna when we come to the party, I never look the same as nobody. Like no, and then that's so it's like else. It's crazy. Food wasn't even my passion. I just happened to be so good and I just stay focused. So as I said, if you really want it bad, you just have to keep working hard and just have that vision like I will make it and just be hungry, and you get to where you need to go.
And I believe I've heard one of some documentaries. I watch a lot of documentaries. One of this like rich mogul, he was talking to someone else and was pretty much like mentoring him and saying that, okay, like you just mentioned, you have a passion, you have a gift, or you have something you're very good at, but this is not really what you want to do. This is what you want to do. So he said, you know what, if you're very good at this, why don't you work on this, be the best at it, at least let it be bringing in income for you. Then when you get to a certain stage, use it now, the funds, so now go after your passion. So I was like, when I heard that, I said, whoa, yeah, that seriously makes sense. So don't just sit down and say, oh, because I don't have the money to go after my passion, I just drop it or I can't do it anymore. No, it's like, look for other things that you are actually good at. And if it's to go work 9 to 5, go work 9 to 5. But don't limit yourself to just working 9 to 5. Save up money because you're just using this as a wheel. So now go after what your passion truly is. Right. And at times, what our gift is or what we are to do might not be bringing in that big money, but you're satisfied and you are successful because there's different thresholds of success. Yes. So you don't have to be bringing in millions to be a success. You can be successful bringing in the little that you're bringing in, but you are at peace.
Exactly.
Everybody around you is happy.
That's true.
You're happy. You're okay. That is success. Not that, because you see a lot of millionaires and billionaires that are throwing themselves off the cliffs and committing suicide and overdosing with drugs and alcohol because they're not happy. But when people outside see them, they say, oh, this person is so successful because they have millions in their account. but they're not even happy. They're miserable.
They're not fulfilled.
It's true. It's true.
And a lot of them,
Very true.
if you actually do an interview one-on-one, they would take it back. They would say, I wish I knew this. I wish I didn't get into this. They wish. But because they don't say it enough outside, people just see them from outside and the picture and say, wow, this person must be enjoying life.
Yeah.
And we wonder why a lot of these celebs are committing suicide. It's because it's not as glamorous as they make it seem.
It's not all that green at the other side of the grass type of situation.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in the next, 3 years, 5 years? Where do you see your brand going?
Well, the brand so far, like as I said, we still have a lot to do. We're still trying to do a lot, and well, my goal is actually to grow the business, grow the brand. So thinking maybe start franchises. You just have to have a bigger picture, so that But yeah, teach get more involved with the youths. A lot of people don't like cooking nowadays because being able to order stuff off your phone or able to just click a computer or just I think what I want to do is help more young people learn how to cook. At least if they're not passionate, at least they'll be able to make themselves. They come back from school or after work, they'll be able to make themselves a couple meals. I think that goes a long way too, and teaching people how nutrition really works, because the market is so full of, I would say, junk that is not really that healthy. So that aspect, that's where I think I would like to go within the next couple of years. Because as she said, if you're really good, the money will always come. But the other stuff, it doesn't come. So you have to work on it. And that's what me and my young chef is doing. We're just trying to make sure we we already been doing stuff for the young boys and girls clubs all over the city. So with us, we just want to make sure when we have more time to help those kids or even young adults that want to, we just want to help, because when we started, we didn't get that break, but now we see okay, food is something that brings people to get together, and culture and all these type of things. So food is always a language that could always break barriers. So we want to use that as a vehicle to get to where we need to be within the next couple of years. And so far, I think it could work.
Yeah,
I think it can, especially with what we had last week.
Oh my goodness.
And what we're having
today.
Oh
It brought a
boy.
big smile to me. It made parts of me tingle. It hasn't tingled in a while. I'm like,
Wow. So
It's crazy. It's crazy.
if people want to reach out to you, do you do party catering,
Pretty much I do everything from weddings, funerals, special events, just name it, barbecues. And that's the part too. Some chefs, they're only in the kitchen. But you see me out there in the field with the 200 people. And we're not boiling no chicken, or we're not pre-cooking anything. We're cooking it live.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's the type of chef that I actually am. I'll come, give me $20 of chicken. We'll flip and cook all of it, because this is what we do. And we're not about to cut no shortcuts or nothing. I'll clean it, season it, come and just barbecue. We do all type of different stuff, even bacon. We'll come and bake stuff. We love what we do. So it's
cheesecake.
Wow.
we're here.
how can people reach out to you? How can people get in contact with you?
Loso's Kitchen on all social media platforms. So it's LOSOS Kitchen at all social media platforms. And if you want to shoot an email, lososkitchen@gmail.com, we'll message you back, we could talk whatever we need to talk about, and we'll get it from there.
And I remember last time when we were in the kitchen, you were mentioning a couple of names that you've cooked for.
Yeah.
Tiwa, Davido,
We went to visit Rema.
Rema last
Well, we
time.
went to see Rema, but we got stuff in the works.
Okay.
Rema brought Casey on stage. I already had stuff for Casey. I cooked for Casey, so
Yes.
Rema, we'll get to Rema. Yeah, we're there. Wiz and them, we'll get to them. Wiz is actually friends with a lot of my people. So some people it's just a matter of time,
Yeah.
And I work with Wonder Girl
Yes.
all day, every day. One of the biggest producers in the world. I got to cook for Daniel Caesar. A lot of these African celebrities, a lot of people, musicians, the name goes on. Kim Promise, Joey B. It's just a long list of people.
Wow.
But now we want to start a new list. So Let's forget about the old ones and let's move on now. You know, I'm here with the panel. You know, I got to cook for them, some lovely
Question.
people. Yeah.
Who would you love to cook for?
Dead or alive?
Both.
I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I love Michael Jackson. So, and my auntie would die if that were ever were to happen. That would have been crazy. Michael Jackson is crazy. I think right now, well, since I'm in Toronto, I think anything with Drake, any of that camp would be okay.
Drake, fans of Drake, you guys tag Drake.
OVO, let's get this.
Yeah, OVO, that would be bad, but. As I said, like there's some people that like I'll get to them because it's like it's who I'm affiliated with.
Yeah.
They'll get me through the door. But
I always believe in
a little bit of some I might probably need a little help, but once they come and they try the food, we'll be there on a regular. Like we're always in Drake's neighborhood cooking for his friends, but it's just a matter of time that he smells. Sometimes we only like couple doors from his house, and it's like, we'll get to see the six guy. We'll get there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love your confidence.
Yes.
Oh, we have to.
And you need to have that.
Yes,
so
for
you need
sure.
to speak it into existence. I
Always.
The universe is hearing. They're taking it and they're using it. In the spirit. Everything happens in the spiritual before it happens in the physical.
Yes.
Speak it.
It'll come to
pass.
And we already know what the sis guy loves. Hey, the man wants scallops. We'll cook all the scallops here. You gotta do your homework too, You gotta do your homework. I don't know, man. I've actually been to the studio. They did their stuff, but it was one of those top secret that I wasn't supposed to talk about. So I was like, but we got there. It's a matter of time we get the work in.
Yes, and also believing in when it's time, it will happen.
For sure.
Because some people always say, but you should have worked with this person, or you should have been with this, or you were in the same room, but how come you did not communicate?
Yeah.
Don't rush it.
No.
When the time comes,
the universe
it will always come.
Yeah.
And it's always been my motivator, and I will always preach it. Don't force things. Let it come naturally to you. Because when you force things, at that point, you end up maybe destroying things, or it gets destroyed before it's time.
Yes.
So it's better you let the universe, God, to work it out when it's supposed to work out.
Makes
And
sense.
don't be disappointed if maybe at that moment it didn't work out. Just believe that that's just not the time.
For
The
sure.
right time will come when at that point you're not an attachment. You're actually the center of attraction.
Wow, I love that.
Amen. So so it's good to, like he just said, you don't just pray and don't work.
Yeah.
Like he mentioned now, do your research.
Do your
Because
research,
he
for
would
sure.
like to sit with Drake and cook and have some chats and whatnot. But guess what he's also doing? He's making sure he's watching, he's following
Prepared.
what's Drake's favorite food, what does he like to drink or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that if that opportunity arises, he is ready.
I already know what I have to do.
He is prepared for it.
So you gotta do your homework, guys.
Yep.
You gotta do your homework. A lot of research, a lot of things that you gotta do before you actually get to the door. So when you're there, you're not confused. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna? And that's one thing about me too. Like this morning, I woke up and I read her message. She's like, make sure you bring some goodies. So I was trying to go back to what they liked and what they didn't have. So it's like a combination of what they didn't have and what you gotta know what you're
Sweet
doing.
like chocolate.
You gotta know what you're doing.
You know, I got you, girls.
That's
I'm just glad he did.
We're so happy to have you. If anyone wants you to mentor their child, especially the young boys, are you available for that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's what I said. My goal in the next year is actually set up a program that, we can help these, because as I said, it's very sad what's going on with the food industry. Those that no one knows, there's a lot of junk food on the food industry. So if we can help them eat at least healthy, healthy food brings up their energy. At least, they get to do a lot of things different. And, it helps their thinking capacity too.
Exactly.
They need that good food brain.
Yes. And men that can cook are very attractive.
Very,
Trust me, when I saw him.
very.
No, they lie.
Men that
Very.
can cook are very.
It is a
They
big
lie.
turn on.
Guys, just
Man that
focus.
knows his way around the kitchen. That's
Very
not waiting for the
attractive.
woman to come and show him around the kitchen.
Yes.
I can say, nah,
Make
I
great
got this.
husbands.
I'm
Yes.
telling you.
So,
Great
listen,
partner.
You guys are hearing it from women. So if he says we're lying,
I don't know. I'm yet to see him. I don't know. I'm yet to see it.
Get to see
I'm
what?
always in the kitchen. I don't see the lady.
That's
I spend all my days in the kitchen. They don't come to the kitchen
They
unless.
can't come to the kitchen unless you
Unless-
invite her to the kitchen.
Oh, that's how it works.
They have to respect your space.
yes.
So until you invite her.
Now I
to the
got
kitchen.
it.
But yes, to testify, men that can cook are very attractive, and there's a way they have a respect for women.
yes.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that can cook.
They're not
they have respect,
obnoxious
yes.
like others.
And you know they respect the fact that, especially when you're in a relationship with them, that okay, everybody's home, everybody has to take a part in one thing or the other. They don't just sit down and wait for you to do everything. They're up, and
He'll even
I
help you
know-
cut onions.
I'm more like you go and sit down and watch TV. Let me cook. And I find most men that actually cook, they don't even want you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You can stay there and be talking and be gisting, and they want to do everything. They're so like precise. When it comes to women, we just put everything together. But them, they gotta cut the onions first, cut the pepper first, cut all the spices. Then they start putting. You're like, yay! But men are so like precise when it comes to cooking. That God bless them. The ones that actually have that skill, God bless them. My
So
husband.
you better have the skill. Those that don't have, so that blessing can reach you too.
Right?
God bless them. The one that actually has the skill.
That's
so if
crazy.
you want to be blessed, you better have
better
the
cook.
skill.
Yeah, you better call Chef Ramsey and start taking cooking lessons. So
Oh, but we're so happy to have you. Anybody else have a last word?
I'm more than excited to have him. Trust me. His energy is so good.
well, that's what you need. You need positive energy and people actually happy to be around you. That's what we strive for in 2023, 2024. Show
Big
more
things.
love, man. Big things and better things on the horizon.
Sweet.
That's good. The only thing I have to say is I'm just glad to be affiliated or associated to a person like this, because we all used to hang out back in the days and you don't know how someone's going to turn out in the future. And it just goes to show you, if you look down on someone or if you had treated a person in any such way, like today, if I was a bitch to him or if he was a bitch to me, we'd be sitting here like, yo, hashing things out. But it just goes to show in life and everything that we do and wherever we go, just be positive, be good to one another, and let's love each other. That's it. Yeah.
Well said. Any last words?
I want to use him as an example to guys in Toronto, because I've heard and it's proven that it's harder to raise male kids
Yeah.
in Toronto. I don't know about other places, but in the Toronto and the GTA. And if Chef Loso can do it, a lot of you guys can do it. So, I'm using this opportunity to let the youths know that you guys can be focused. Please learn from him. I know there's a lot of distractions out there. Smoking gang, if you allow me to
Girls.
mention a lot of things, girls, but I want to use this opportunity. Chef Loso is a young man, and he's, regardless of whatever his parents or his dad, to be precise, thought about being a chef, he was still able to fight through being in Toronto, being raised in Toronto. Because let me tell you for a fact, I have a son, and I know raising a son in Toronto or the GTA is not a joke. So I want a lot of you youths to emulate from him.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Pretty much as she said, this place has a lot of distraction, and being around the wrong group of people will lead you to places that you don't want to go. You can end up dead or end up in prison or even places
Paralyzed
that
for
like
life.
it's
down.
crazy. So as a young black man or as a young person in this place, you just have to be focused, and you don't need the whole world to like you, or you don't need the whole place to like you, or everybody be your friends. Just pick 1-2 people that understands you, that supports your vision, and make sure that these are the people that you're around. all the other people, they'll come and go. If I tell you how many friends we started with, and now like because of some people, we don't even want to affiliate. Like I tell people, I have 3 numbers. I'll look in your face literally and see how important you were to give you like my personal numbers, or you just get in the bullshit number. So you just have to know where you're going and don't be distracted. People will gas you. People will tell you, yo, you're the man, you're the man. But I guarantee you, the minute something happens and lawyer money or canteen has to be sent, these people ain't gonna be there. Everybody has their own responsibility. So just be very smart and just make sure that you're doing things that will take you to where you need to be, not things that will make you end up where you don't need to be. So just be smart and just be vigilant. You have to keep your eyes open. And not everywhere you can go in this city too. That we have to put that into perspective. Like you have to know, like some places, nah, don't do it. Just you have to be home most of the time just to focus on your books or whatever you need to do just to make sure that you get to wherever you need. That's what you need to do. All the other stuff, just forget about it. That's all I got to add still.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you. And you guys, like we said earlier, it came with some goodies. So now we're going to go and enjoy our goodies. Thank you so much. We're so excited to have you. God bless your handwork. God bless everything you're doing with yourself. We're going to be back, I'm sure, in the next few years. We're going to see you with Drake. We're going to see you with those who you want to be with.
Amen.
And, we're also going to be here. We're going to be cheering. Yes.
Amen and amen, amen and amen. Hopefully next time you come, the big Loso's kitchen on my other
Yes.
is on the door, so
Shall come.
let's put everything into perspective and let's just work towards our futures.
Loso, are you looking for an assistant? I actually don't have a job right now.
Well, you can always come and help. We don't discriminate. As long as you come in and you wanna volunteer or something, because we're always trying to give back to because we're trying to give back to the community. So there'll be some days that as I said, those chefs they be costing me a lot of money. So if you're gonna volunteer, just come, and it will help you too. You might learn something that
definitely you would definitely
you didn't know. So we always, most of the time, it's hard times, but like when people come with donations and stuff or they want stuff, you just have to take things in and just say, okay, what cause is it for? If I actually do my research and it's for a good cause, I'm more than 110% to give back or whatever help or work. But if it doesn't make sense, then we got to go the other way. But that's one of the things too.
That's good. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Follow his handle.
Yes. All the Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the podcast stations, we are right there. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. Please don't forget to follow us. Cruiseman Podcast.
And Chef Loso's Kitchen.
Yes, Loso's Kitchen at all platforms. We're here.
Special request to parents who are listening to this podcast or watching this podcast. Even if you don't show your teenagers or your young youths any of the podcast, please just show them where Chef Loso was advising the youth. I'm telling you, to go a long way for them, especially the male youth. When we were growing, the women were the trouble. Like my father was more scared of us, the women, than the men. But now it's reversed, especially in the city of Toronto. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
This podcast is supported by Adiba Connector, your first stop for graphic designs, mobile apps, websites, and many more.